You will need your chair if you have a chair. It doesn't have to look just like this. It can be any chair. It can be your chair, whatever you use for a chair. That's it. Um, except for ones with wheels that rolls, that kind of thing. No, not acceptable. It's got to stay in one place. It can't rotate.
I can put the brakes on my wheelchair here.
There you go. If you have brakes on your chair, use them.
I should, but I'm not
All of a
sitting in.
sudden,
But I'm not sitting in my chair. I'm sitting behind my chair on my day bed, which I love.
all of a sudden, we'll see you going down nice and slow as your chair rolls forward. Oh, okay, here we go. Muted. Come on and get up. Got to get up and get going. It's the best part of the day now. Welcome, Ageless Balance. I'm Ron. Let us go. We are going to be doing balance and a little stretching, but mostly balance. A lot of stationary balance, not single leg stuff. But let's start with this. Heel raises up and back down. That's a balance exercise. Hang on to your chair if you need it. That stationary chair that isn't rolling anywhere. Bring it up and back down again. Concentrate on ball of the foot, not into the toes. Heels come up. You've got the ball of the foot inside to outside of the foot, all the way on the floor, feeling ground contact all the way across. Working the muscles in the inner thighs, the outer thighs, the knees, the hips, keeping that foot flat and back down. How is this a balance exercise? Because we're flattening our feet out. We're giving ourselves that balance on that limited base of support, just the ball of the foot. And back down. One more. This is a good way to warm up. We're feeling the calf muscles warm up here, back at the lower legs. They're doing the work to lift that heel up. And nice and slow, bring it down. Side to side steps, weight shifting out and in to the other side, out and in. How is this balance, you say? It's a weight shift. You're having to take standing up on a single leg, taking that leg, taking your momentum out, and then you put yourself right between the two legs, up and in, up and out. So if you do move, if you do get bumped, if you trip, you're able to make this shift in movement and still find yourself in a place of stability when you stop. And then you can bring yourself back again, strengthening up the outside of the hips, getting the brain working to figure out the balance where it needs to be, where the torso needs to be to stay straight, to be balanced, to be upright, out and in, out and in. One more time each side. This is easy. This is just warming up stuff. It's the kind of stuff we do. All right, we're going to work the front of the leg. So we work the calf muscles, and we're going to work those shins by bringing the toes up. Again, what you've got is the heel of the foot is where your hinge is at, and bring the foot back down. Toes up. Keep the knees bent. Don't lean forward. Hang on to the chair if you need to bring those toes up. So you want to keep that upright posture. Get used to that feeling on the heels of your feet. Weight is shifted back over the heels. You should be comfortable with that feeling. We lose the ability to be comfortable with that. We don't do it enough, and then we fall backwards every time weight starts to shift back. We want to be able to bring it forward again. So toes up, weight shift into the back of the heels, hold there, feel the muscles working in the front of the leg, and back down one more time, up. So we did the front separately from the back so that we're not rocking back and forth. We're taking each one separately, working those specific muscles, really concentrating on feeling the work being done on the muscles on either side of the shin, and bring it back down. Holding on to your chair you are. We're going to bring the right leg up and out to the side. Toe is pointed forward. Hip is straight. So what we really want to do here is work on our alignment, keeping ourselves right up over that stationary leg, lifting that other leg out. Same plane. This leg that's lifting is in the same plane as the stationary leg. You're not leaning out over the side. You're keeping your balance, keeping your stability over your center of gravity. And bring it back in. Again, take it out. Feel that stationary leg. Little bend in the knee, foot flat on the floor, ball of the foot to the heel. And back in one more time. Bring it out. Make sure you've got that heel that you're leading with. Don't let the toe go out to the outside. It's easy to do. Keep that toe pointed right straight forward and bring it back in. Other side, same thing. Again, really concentrate on the posture, that alignment of ear over shoulders, over hips, over knees, over ankles. Keep the shoulder blades back, chest is out. Lift that leg out to the side. Make sure you've got a little bend in that knee on the stationary leg or the stance leg. Bring it back out again. Toe is forward. Legs are in the same plane, right straight across. And back in 2 more times. Take it out. It doesn't have to come very high. The higher you go, the more likely you are to lean the body. Don't do that. Keep those hips straight. I have to work on strengthening up these muscles on the outside of the hips. Those are the stability muscles that stabilize the hips as we walk. So they're not shifting back and forth, putting all sorts of stress on the hips, the knees, and the ankles. Up and back down. So I said we didn't do the heel toe, right? One after the other. We're going to now, but I want you to concentrate on toes up, front of the foot, all the way up, all the weight right straight down into the heels, and then slowly bring the weight down, bringing the foot flat on the floor to the ball of the foot, and then lifting up through the heels, feeling the calf muscles working. Hold in there. You're still upright. Down, roll back, toes up, little bend in those knees. Never lock the knees out. And drop the toes down nice and slow, keeping the toes off the floor, using the ball of the foot only, and up. Use the chair for this. I really want you to concentrate on just that feeling, because this is a gait movement. Heel toe, up, and slowly the other way, coming up on the ball of the foot, and back down again. So it's a gait movement. You pick up the foot, coming down on the heel, rolling to the ball of the foot, on the back foot, heels coming up to the ball of the foot. And it's just that continual pattern, step after step. But the muscles have to be strong to lift that foot up, lift the leg up. Next one's just going to be a weight shift. Legs a little wider than shoulder width apart. They are. It's a weight shift. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm shifting the weight from one side to the other. Small movement, very small. Start bringing the heel up, pushing off on the ball of the foot. Arms out to the side and reach. Starting slowly. Reach out, arm out. Other side, same thing. Getting used to that balance. You're right over that stationary leg. Even though you're reaching the arm out, you're not leaning the torso out after it. That takes you completely out of balance. Your stationary leg, your stance leg is what holds you up. That's where you are, right over the top of it. You can reach that shoulder out, feel the momentum, but what you want to do is work these core muscles to bring you back to center. That's what we're doing, working the brain, working the core, out and in. So you do this at a pace that's right for you, at a pressure that's right for you. So if you can lift that foot up off the floor and still hold your balance, that's fantastic. If you can only get that heel up, that's fantastic. Whatever you can do is what you can do. You want to try to get a little more intensity, be able to get just a little bit farther with it. Maybe get on that single foot at some point. Maybe today's not the day for it. Maybe this month is not the day for it, or the month for it. I guess today can't be a month. Some days feel like a month, though. And push off and push off. Bring it back. Arms down. All right, grab onto your chair. Grab onto your chair, starting with the right leg. We're going to be doing about 5-6 exercises, excuse me, with the right leg. Hold onto the chair, because what we're doing is we're working the muscles here. I want you to really concentrate on the muscles instead of the balance on this one. Strength in these joints, in these muscles, will create that balance that we need. So for right now, let's just really focus on strength and alignment. Torso right straight up and down, shoulder blades back, ears over shoulders, over hips. We're going to take the right leg and just lift that knee up as high as it'll come, as high as it will come for you, wherever that is. I can get my leg up here. You may only be able to come up here. Those hip flexors may only lift that much. Those hamstrings in the back of the leg may not stretch as much as mine do. That's fine. That is not a problem. Take what you can get. Feel the stretch through the hamstrings. Feel the work being done from above the knee all the way up into the hip. And take the leg back down. Where else do you feel this? Stationary leg, because you're right over the top of it. That leg is doing all the work to keep you from falling over. Up. Bring that leg up. Feel that hip flexor. Tighten it up. Get that knee up as high as you can get it. Squeeze it. Feel the lower core muscles working. Feel that hip flexor right in front of the hips. That is the muscle that lifts the leg up when we walk. How important is that? You don't want to shuffle. Don't shuffle. That little with the feet, that's what they do. They go because they never come off the floor. I hear that all the time. When I'm out and about, I hear people shuffling with their feet, dragging the feet along the floor. That is so bad. That is so likely to take you down. A trip hazard, anything is a trip hazard at that point in time with you not picking the foot up. One more time. Find your balance, find your over that stationary leg, find your alignment, and bring that leg up as high as you can. And back down again. Same leg. We're going to just bring the heel up to the butt. Knee is pointed right down towards the floor. All the work is in the back of that leg. The hamstrings are doing all the work to pull that lower leg up and drop it back down again. Stationary leg, little bend in the knee. Don't lose that. Knees are side by side. That right knee is pointed right down towards the floor. Shoulder blades are back. Chest is up. Kind of uncomfortable. You got weight behind you. You're all on one leg. Get used to that feeling. Teach the brain what that's like. In case you do get that leg, you lift it up and you have to stabilize yourself on a single leg until you can get that other leg back down again. That's what you want. The strength in the muscles to be able to do that, the ability of the brain to figure out proprioception that you're starting to bend a little bit or lean and to bring you right straight back again. Bring it up, squeeze that muscle in the back of the leg. And this is for lifting the leg as you walk. And back down one more time. One more. Up. Heel towards the butt. Feel that muscle tighten up. Hold it right there. Keep it tight for a couple seconds. And then drop it back down again. What do we do next? Lateral leg toe tap. What? I'm not sure what we're doing. I got it. Out. They're my notes. Out. It's not like somebody else wrote them. That's scary when I do that. And reach over. Pick that foot up. Come over the stationary leg, over the foot of the stationary leg. You're up and over, not going out and around. Up. Back to the outside. Tap the toe. Hang on to the chair. Keep the torso upright. Over that stationary leg. Up and over. Tap the toe to the inside. Working the muscles on the inner thigh to pull that leg in. Using the muscles on the outside of that hip to pull that leg back out again. Over, crossing the plane of the center of the body works the brain heavily. There's a lot of work that has to go on to get the body used to being able to lift, cross, tap lightly, fully in control of that movement, not stepping the foot down as hard as you can. Light tap of the toe, pick it up and bring it back. Across and back again. Tell you what, that stationary leg's feeling it. We're going to do the same thing, but front to back this time. So holding onto the chair, tap the toe up, lift the leg. Don't let the torso move. All the work is happening in the glutes to lift the leg or to pull the leg backwards. Tap the toe lightly, pick it back up just like you're taking a step, a big step up, and then tapping the toe. Lift the leg, take it behind you. Be in control of that movement the whole way. Make sure your stationary leg has a little bend in the knee. It's really easy to let that knee lock out. We don't even think about it. It's just so comfortable, so easy. And it's so bad for that joint. It's terrible. Plus, it cuts the blood flow off. Forward and back. Up. Full control. Full control. And we're good. This time, getting rid of the chair if you can. Just a stagger step up and back again. Now we're doing a weight shift. Up and back. Arms out to the side if you need it, gives you a little more balance. Step forward. This does not have to be a big move. It needs to be a slow move. Again, you are in total control of this. This is not momentum that is letting the leg swing. You're taking those muscles in the leg, in the thigh, in the butt, and bringing that foot forward, up, and back. Balance is about being able to navigate as you walk, getting around obstacles. If you need to lift a leg to get over something, a stick on the sidewalk, you can do that. You've got the ability to pick that foot up. You feel totally confident being on a single leg. You have no qualms with that whatsoever. Forward and back. I was not totally in control. All right. I need to be. Here we go. Next thing we're going to do is a tandem stance. One foot in front of the other. So we're going to have heel to the toe, as close as you can get, not touching. Keep them just a little bit separate. Both knees are bent. Weight is from the ball of the foot to the heel on both feet. So you want to be right in between the two, with the weight being evenly distributed between the two legs. If you can let go of your brace, that's fine. If you need it, take it. This is a super uncomfortable move for a lot of people. There's some people who never get the ability to get them right in front of each other, which is fine. Bring them off to the side just a little bit and overlap. So bring it down to the side, a little modified tandem stance, if that's more comfortable for you. And then little by little, work on getting that leg back around so that they're in alignment. What you're doing is you're limiting your base here. The more you limit the base, the more work that has to happen in the core, the more you're tightening these muscles up, plus the quadriceps, plus the ankles, plus the lower legs to hold you up with a limited support under your feet. And bring it back. All right, let's go to the other side. Same things. Starting with that leg up. Hip flexion, flexing those muscles in the hip that get shorter, contracting, lifting the legs up. Whew. Having problems talking. Remember, back leg. Ball the foot to the heel, not in the toes, little bend in the knee. And then left leg up, as high as you can get it. Roll the shoulder blades back, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Feel the work being done in the quadriceps as well as the hip flexor. That's all about getting that leg up as you walk so that you can lift, stepping over things instead of dragging your toes or shuffling the sole of the foot on the ground. Up. Taking it slow works control of the muscles, which works the fine motor muscles, which really strengthens all of this up. And back down. Slower you can go, the more in control you are, the more you're working all of the muscles in the hip, in the leg to lift. And back down one more time. The other thing I should say is that the knee, the toe should all be in alignment in the hip, right in a straight line pointing forward as you lift that up. It's easy to pull it off to the side, foot at an angle, horrible for the joints. You always want that alignment, weight evenly distributed through the joints. All right, next one, butt kickers. So we lifted the leg up front. This time we're going to bring that heel up back. Feeling that those hamstrings working to lift that lower leg up. Hold. And back down. Again, shoulder blades are back. Chest is out. You really want to feel all the work happening in the back of the leg. Wherever it is for you that you can get that heel up to, perfect. That's where it needs to be. But when you get it there, give it one last squeeze. Bring it up just a little bit more. And then relax it. Feel those muscles really engage. It's in that squeeze, that little extra right there, that you really break that muscle down to build it back up again, to get it stronger. Get it thicker, get it denser. More dense? Denser. Down. I have to look that one up afterwards. And up. Or somebody can just be kind and tell me. Up. And back down. And up. Hold. And back down one more time. Stationary leg, nice and straight. Little bend in the knee. Up. Foot is flat on the floor. Toes are off the floor. Ball of the foot to the heel only. Feel that muscle working in the back of the moving leg. and back, down again. Toe tap, side to side, over the stationary leg, and tap it. Toe only. Be in super control. Be a control freak here. You can. On this, you can be a control freak. Bring it up, over and tap. Nobody will complain. This is all for you. You want to make sure that you're telling the muscles what they're going to do, not the muscles telling you what they can do or what they're going to do. You are in control of these movements. Every inch, every little bit of movement, really small, less than inches things. Up and over and back, front to back toe taps. Hang on to that chair. Again, we're working core muscles. We're working that stationary leg as well as all the muscles in that moving leg. Tap back and tap up. So I don't want you worrying about your balance and doing all of the side to side juggling type of thing. I want you to really use the chair and just concentrate on the movement of that leg, bringing it up like it should be, teaching the brain, hardwiring into the brain to lift that leg with every step you take. Tap, up, and back, tap the toe. Forward, and back. Again, don't care how far out you go. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you take your time lifting that leg up, getting those hip flexors to work, using those hamstrings to lift the lower leg to get the toe up off the ground, reaching forward, bringing the toe up, and then tapping, just as if you were walking. And back, forward, and back. Tandem stance. Feet in alignment. Left foot in front of the right. Just stand in there. Find the balance. Little bend in the knees. Weight, ball the foot to the heel, just like Tai Chi. You want to feel the weight evenly distributed through the flat of the foot, on the floor, all the way so you have as much surface area as possible. Your legs are pretty close together, so you don't have this nice wide stance to work with. It's really small. Walking down the aisles, sort of theater, trying to get through without getting everybody out of your way or them kicking you. You want to be able to get into this stance and be comfortable with it. Know that you can move. Holding on to a chair, the backs of the chairs on one side, and that these moves are totally comfortable for you. All right, grab a drink of water. We're moving on. One of my more favorite movements, which is a great one for practicing balance, dynamic balance, is going into a stagger step. So we're taking that right foot, bringing it forward. We're just going to do a weight shift. Back, bringing the toe up, forward, bringing the heel up. So what we're simulating here is if you were to trip, if the toe were to catch and you were coming forward, the body is shifting forward, you're able to take the muscles in the core and bring yourself back to center over those legs. So when you take a step up, oh, you trip on the toe, you stub the toe, and you start going forward. You can get that foot out there and bring it back again. So just work on that weight shift forward, weight shift back, bringing the toe up as you come back, bringing the heel up as you go forward. Notice where your body is through the whole time. You're over your base of support. Your center of gravity is between the two legs where it should be. All of the work, all of your base, all of your stability is between the two legs. That's where you're keeping yourself, not leaning way out front, which is going to give you that momentum to go on your nose. Up and back. Get used to this feeling. This way, when it happens and you're not ready for it, the brain knows to keep you upright. Heel up, toe up. So where you can go with this, if you're comfortable, if you're holding on to the chair, you can bring the back foot up off the floor. And then as you take that weight shift back, front foot up off the floor. This is really important because you're going to be in a position at times, especially walking over uneven terrain, where you really need to pick that foot up to get over a log, to get over uneven ground, gravel, rocks, crossing the stream, whatever. You want to have this be able to balance on that single leg so you can take the other leg and move forward or back, whichever way you need to go. Back and up. One more time. Take it back and bring it up. Other foot forward, same thing. Starting out, get your balance first. Feel using the left leg up front now, toe up, heel up. The brain's still thinking you've got that right foot out front. It makes a huge difference in where your balance goes, where the body needs to shift to. Remember, you've got a little bend in the knees so that you're always able to adjust. Plus, you're also softening. As you bring that foot down onto the ground, the knee gives. If it's locked out, you're going to put all the pressure on the knee. You're just going to pound it up, forward, as comfortable as you are. Hold on to the chair. Bring the toe up or bring the foot up, forward, and back. Again, I'm not leaning way back and throwing my balance off completely. I'm keeping myself over my stationary leg. You want to really work these core muscles to keep you right up there. Up is you want to stay as upright as possible, as vertical as possible if something happens, because once you start to lay out, the more horizontal you get, the more weight shift you've got, the more momentum you've got to take you down on the ground or on the floor. So you really want to work on staying right in between the middle, right straight up. And back, up, and back. And you can do that. You got a countertop, you're in the kitchen, and you're just working. Make sure you don't have socks on hard flooring, slippery, not good. If you're going to practice anything with your balance, make sure you've got the proper footwear that you can feel the floor underneath your foot. I always say use thin-soled shoes so that you can feel the floor underneath there, or feel the ground to make sure that you have that solid contact with the floor. All right, we're going to go back to the tandem stance. This time, we're going to go just a little off. So we're going to have the feet side by side. I don't want you to put them right one in front of the other. Find your balance. Limit your base, but still challenge yourself, but feel comfortable. Because we're going to bring the arms forward and rotate just the arms. Feel that rotation, and then bring the torso with it if you're comfortable. And back to center. Single arm. Get a big rotation through here on this one. Bring it around. Come around as far as you can. Hips stay forward. Find your balance. And come back to center. If you can, take the torso, follow the hand around. Look right straight at the hand. Follow it around as you rotate. And bring it back to center. This one, don't do unless you're against a wall, and that's doing it with your eyes closed. And bring it back. And the hardest is rotating your head with your eyes closed at the same time. Don't go there. Other leg, same thing. Go there, but a great way to do that is in the corners. You're in the corner. Two walls come together. You've got support on both sides of you. That is the best way to do it. Because then if you do lose your balance, you can just fall right into a wall on either side of you. You don't have to worry. Just fall backwards and you fall right into the middle of that corner. All right. Left foot out front, arms out front, both arms rotate first. Just the arms, just the shoulders. Feel the rotation through the spine. And bring it back to center. Remember, the whole time you're doing this, hips have to stay forward. That is super important. One arm all the way around. Just bring the arm around to start out with. Stretch back as far as you can. Open it up. Feel that you're not using your toes for weight, for holding the weight. Make sure they're just being used for stability. Keep your balance. So you're on the ball of the foot to the heel. Both knees are bent. This time, bring the torso around with it, following the fingers. Around. Reach back. And bring it back to center. And then if you can, just close the eyes, bringing one arm back. and bring it forward again. The minute I close my eyes, I am so working those muscles in my legs and in the core. I can just feel them tighten right up to force my feet flat on the ground, ball of the foot to the heel. All right. Single leg stand. We had to get there. So we don't do this very often, but it is important to be able to do. This is something that you should be doing regularly, where you stand with your hand over counters, over a chair, next to a wall, whatever, but you just bring one foot up off the floor and you balance on a single leg. If you keep tapping the toe, that is fine. What you're looking to do for 30 seconds, how long can you stand on a single leg? And if you have to tap the toe to get your balance back and bring it back up, how many times? When you do it from week to week, from month to month, if you're using that toe to balance you to go down and tap the floor, it should be less and less all the time until you get to a point where you are on a single leg and you're comfortable standing on that single leg. Really concentrating on that foot flat on the floor. That's where it comes from. And bring it down. That was 30 seconds. Other side. Actually, that was like 40. Sorry. I made you work more than you had to. That was my bad. Tap whenever you need it. Hover the hand over whatever your base is, whatever you're using for support, next to a wall. Only use it when you absolutely need it. When you absolutely need it, use it. Don't be bobbling around trying to get your balance back again. Find your balance and then start over. You always want to start from a position of stability. Once you get out of whack, bring yourself back again. That's the most important piece. And back down. All right, I'm going to grab a drink of water. You can too. We're going to be standing for this last part. Whole lot of standing going on here. That's how we get to strengthen these muscles. Quadriceps, hamstrings, hips, glutes, core muscles. All of these are working to keep you upright. All right, here we go. First thing we're going to do, just walk in place. That's it. Take everything that we learned. Heel comes up first, then the ball of the foot. Little ways up, drop back down, hitting the ball of the foot first. Control the movement. You are completely in control. There's no plopping the foot down. This isn't a hard march. This is a soft. You're controlling where that foot's going, how it's hitting the floor. Knees, toes, hips, ankles, everything's pointed forward. Everything's right out front. And back down. Arm comes up as the leg comes up. And back down. We stop moving our arms when we walk. As we get older, they just kind of hang by the side and we walk slowly. Use that arm for balance. Legs coming up on one side, arm should be out there on the other one, giving you a little balance side to side. And back down, up, and down, nice and slow. Raise it up, and back down, up, and back. Couple more times. Bring that arm up as high as you want, and back. Other side, up. One arm back, one arm forward, lifting that leg, and back down again. We're going to go up on the balls of the feet, working agility. So side to side movements, starting out. Heel comes up, ball of the foot, step out, tap the ball of the foot, come down on the heel. Other foot, same thing. Heel comes up first and in. Up, whoa, and out. Bring that other leg up. Walk it in nice and slow. Again, you are in control of that movement. What I'd like you to do is try to bring the heels up off the floor and just tap side to side, walking side to side on the balls of the feet. Tap and tap, strengthening those calf muscles up, getting yourself used to being able to balance on just the ball of the foot, inside to out. Don't put all sorts of pressure into the knee. That hurts that meniscus. You will have pain on the front in the front of your knee if you're putting all your weight into your toes. Up. You want to be using the core muscles, the hamstrings, the glutes, the quadriceps, all of these big muscles to hold you in place. not putting all the weight in the front of the body. Those aren't big muscles up there. Over and back, over and back. All right. Just bringing the heels up, going into a little bit, if you can, of a run. Pedaling those heels up, up, opposite arm, opposite leg, moving together. Go as fast as you can with it. Knees are always bent. See how much more movement you have when you don't lock the knees out every time. How much less of how jarring that is when you lock that knee out. You always have a little bend in it. It's a nice soft movement. You're controlling how hard that heel hits the floor. Up and up. And we're good. I got lots of these. Don't worry. We're not going to run out. Taking that same walking, let's rotate. Let's turn the corners. So we're going to pick the leg up, just like we did standing still, except this time we're going to pick the foot up, controlling the movement, nice and slow. Leg closest to the chair, does the first rotation, then you bring the other one around. Inside one takes that rotation through the hip and forward. So you pick the foot up, it's pointed forward, you rotate the leg first, and then as the foot comes down, you start working this back half of the body to bring it into place so that you're ready for that next step. Up and around. Straight forward, inner leg towards the chair, and we're good. Going back the opposite way, same thing. Up. When you rotate, when you go through a corner, you're picking up, you're turning the hips eventually. But the first thing you're doing is taking that leg and taking it around. And step. You want to keep the feet going in the same direction, pointed out in front of you. Wherever the torso is, the feet should be pointed in the same direction. So as you're turning that hip, that's when you get the torso involved. Around and down. Another one of these I really like is to do that, but going backwards. So if you're comfortable with it, go backwards. If you're not comfortable, don't do this. Hand on the chair, picking the foot up and stepping back. We do not walk backwards anywhere near as much as when we're younger, which means the brain forgets how to do it. And the minute you start moving backwards, everything takes you with momentum. There are people who hit the back of their heads all the time because they're not used to going backwards. And all it would take to save themselves is step back, and it's done. It's done. You're not going on your back. That's all that has to happen. So you should get comfortable with that movement backwards. So if you do stumble, if you do get pushed from the front and you start going backwards, you can find your balance and bring yourself back, just like that rocking horse we did. Up and around. Other direction. For every right, there's a left. You always want to be balanced in all of your exercises. We do one side, we do the other. It's a given. It's a given. I'm hanging onto the chair. This is hard. And back. I'm going to just kind of hover above it a little bit, but I'm using it an awful lot. But it's just to get the brain used to walking backwards and to have weight shifting behind you. Go ahead and sit down. We're good. Take a load off the hips for a bit. Bring the feet apart. Let's stretch out all of these muscles we just used. Hands on the thighs, feet apart, knees and toes out at a 45-degree angle. Knees and toes, knees and toes. Come on down. You're the next contestant. Right down between the legs. Keep the chest out. Keep the shoulder blades back. So all the way you're going down, you're feeling a stretch in the lower back. Toes off the floor. Don't give up here. Keep them up. Weights in the heel. Knee is right over the ankle. They're not collapsing in. Don't do that to the joints. That's too hard on them. Strengthen the muscles up on the outside of the hips so that the legs always stay in alignment. The weaker they get, the more they start to wobble around. Don't let that happen. Strengthen these muscles up. One more time down. This time, just drop the arms down and roll the shoulders towards the floor, feeling the stretch go all the way up the back. Deep breath in, hands on the thighs, and bring yourself back up again. Grab onto the back of the chair, rolling the shoulder blades back. Cat cow. Cat cow. Shoulder blades are back. Back has a little curve in it coming forward. That's the cow half. Now we'll do the cat half, bringing the hands on the thighs, rolling the shoulders toward the floor, stretching out the upper back. Deep breath in. Again, feel the extra stretch through the rib cage, going through the upper back. And then exhale, bringing the arms around, grabbing onto the back of the chair. Open up the chest, open up the shoulders. Deep breath in, stomach is out. Exhale, last time, bringing it forward. Bringing one cheek off the edge of the chair, just letting that knee drop right down, feeling the stretch through the hip flexor and into the quadriceps. Front of the thigh, front of the hip. If you can, you grab onto the ankle. If that's something you've got, pants, you got a towel you can wrap around the ankle and pull up. Whatever it takes to get that stretch in the front of the hip, front of the thigh. The other thing I can do is I step back with the foot a little bit more, straightening that leg out. And to the other side we go, Batman. To the back cave. Let that knee just drop right straight down. If you're not feeling a stretch in the front of the hip, get a little more intense with it. Do something. Do something, would ya? Do whatever you need to do, what's right for you. What you're looking to do is stretch out the muscles, front of the thigh, front of the hip. And usually that is just letting the knee drop right straight down with the shoulder blades back, sitting upright. And relax. Come on back to center. Legs out in front, toes forward. We're going to go into a hip hinge, bringing the torso down on top of the thighs. Reach underneath, grab onto the thighs. Bring the hands together underneath, grabbing onto the forearms or the fingers, whatever it is, underneath the arm or underneath the legs. Pull down, getting all the air out of the lungs, and then inhale as you bring it up, coming backwards. Arms up over the top of the head, fingers intertwined, palms right straight up. Deep breath in and exhale as you come down on one side, keeping the sits bones flat on the chair. There is no stretch that comes from you leaning out over the side. You want that shoulder up in the air and coming over the head in an arc, feeling the stretch through the rib cage and through the side of the torso, those oblique muscles. Use that top hand, bring you back up, arms underneath the thighs again. Squeeze, grab onto those thighs as tight as you can. Bring yourself down. Deep breath in as you come back up again. And exhale, coming down on the other side. Same thing. Stretch out the ribs, stretch out the obliques, shoulder, the whole shot, right up the side. Use that top hand to pull you up. Bring your hands down underneath, grab onto the bottom of the chair, rolling the shoulder blades back. And one more time, deep breath in as you bring the arms up, keeping those shoulder blades back, chest is open. Push the stomach out, drive the air, force it down in the lower part of the lungs, and then force the air out. Exhale. One more time, up overhead, deep breath in. Stomach out, opening up the lungs. Exhale, bringing the arms down. We are done with Wednesday. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I will see you Friday. Come on back.